ain't never gonna stop this fire.
I can't believe his business is so incredible, and if I could do this, every single one of you can do this. Every single one of you.
Hey guys, Cody Hofhine with Wholesaling Inc., the #1 wholesaling coaching program in the nation, and I'm right here in Todd Toback's backyard right here in San Diego. It's beautiful. It's not like you, Todd. This has got palm trees. It's got the setting.
Yes.
Todd is going to be breaking down some fun stuff, so I want you guys really ready today. But Todd, how in the heck are you, brother?
Man, I'm doing awesome, man. Excited that you're in San Diego, and man, I'm really excited to share a message that really needs to be heard. You know me, I'm really passionate about doing deals. I've been investing since 2001, and I'll tell you what, I want to show you how to do more deals, bigger deals, on less of a marketing budget. And so my promise to you, okay, is to give you 5 techniques that's going to immediately increase your income. It's going to immediately increase the number of deals that you do, and most importantly, I think it's going to immediately increase your enjoyment of this business.
Yeah, and I think what's crucial about this and what they're going to learn. So guys, for those of you that don't know Todd, this guy's a master negotiator. This guy's the master at sales. And so many times we're crafting in the marketing side and we're sending out the mailers or we're cold calling and we're doing all the right marketing channels, but maybe we're not so strong or not that good at the backside, which is sales. This is where Todd's gonna break down, like he said, 5 tips, 5 strategies. If you will implement these are the same tips and strategies I implement in my business. If you will implement these tips, tricks, and strategies, you can get out there and actually close a deal today. So we're gonna break it down, we're gonna bring the energy, and we're gonna get going. So Todd, my man, let's roll.
All right, let's roll. And you know, one of the things I just want to talk about before we jump into these 5 techniques is I don't care what stage of business you're in. Knowing these is gonna be the game changer. If you see successful people out there crushing it on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or wherever you see it, and you're like, oh man, how is this person closing so many deals, right? And maybe you're in a spot where you're not closing as many as you'd like. I can tell you the difference is the person who knows how to talk to sellers. It's a skill that you want to be refining in your entire life. So when you're just starting out, or maybe you're doing deals, you want to do more deals on less of a marketing budget, you need to know these 5 techniques. If you've got a team,
I'd say more importantly, if you want to scale and get a team in place, it's for the team to make sure they're on this. If you don't have a team doing what you're about to share, it doesn't matter that you know it as the owner. If your team doesn't know it, you're not doing it.
I mean, that's the difference between being going broke and making a lot of money is, again, number 1, training yourself, leading yourself, and then leading others. So these 5 things are actually super easy, Cody, right? They're really super easy. So if you listen to these, you can actually implement these today on the phone and start making more money today. And you want to learn more about these 5 communication techniques, right?
Yeah, where do they go?
If you want to
How do they do this?
Yeah, if they want to close more deals, you want to do bigger deals, you want to increase your income, okay, you want to be an assassin, you want to perfect your craft and take this business really seriously, okay, go over to closingsellers.com. You can buy this entire system, okay? Today, through Saturday, you can actually get one of your seller calls critiqued by me, okay?
Which is huge, guys. Click on that link. We made this easy. Click on that link. This is for you.
Closingsellers.com.
Okay?
You know what? If it's not a fit, look, it's okay to say no, right?
That's right.
You don't have to buy it. It's
Using
fine.
his own
techniques
on you.
Very important.
All right.
All right, so I'm ready to go if you are.
I'm ready to go. Let's rock and roll. Let's go right into step 1. What is their first tip on closing more deals?
Well, the first step is something that we call the redirect. Now, I don't know about you, but when I did my first deal, I remember sitting down with a seller, and that seller really, they were motivated, but they had a lot of questions, right? And they were like, how many deals have you done? And are you a real estate agent? And, what's the process? And how do I know you're real? And so I remember sitting there and shaking, and there wasn't a whole lot of competition back then, but I went automatically into this defense mode, right? So I'm like, oh, well, my name is Todd Toback, and I'm part of a group of investors that buys 10 houses a month, right? Right? And
I'm laughing because this is much like my story.
Yeah, much like your story, right?
We all begin there.
And you're like, oh, I'm a member of the Better Business Bureau, and you sit there.
My house is quick, as is, and there's no closing costs.
Yeah, we make it really easy, and I'm going to treat you well. And we automatically go into the selling mode.
Yeah.
And what happens when we automatically go into selling mode is that we're doing all the talking. And when we're doing all the talking, if you're listening, because you're doing all the talking, right? Guess what the seller is not doing?
He's not talking.
He's not talking. You're not getting any information. And their head is just spinning, right? They can be like, this guy's a scam artist, or they can be like, I'm gonna do business with you, or I've got a higher offer over here, or I want to listen to a realtor. The more talking that you do, the less that you're hearing is going on in the seller's head.
Do you feel like you're also losing authority? Does that make sense? Like, I almost feel like when you're selling, you're leaving them the upper hand to actually maintain authority. Like, this guy's got to convince me why I'm going to sell my home.
Absolutely. So that's going to actually go back to our third technique, which I'm not going to go
sorry.
there,
Let's not skip.
Which is reluctance, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to chase the dog, you want the dog to chase you. But we're going to stay focused on this redirect. And what I mean by the redirect is that you need to be in command.
Yeah.
In command of this conversation. You need to control the flow. You need to be asking the questions and start to extract information out of the seller's brain and out of their heart. Because a lot of times they don't even know really truly what they're thinking. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. And part of that is by asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
All right. So Cody, give me an example here, and I'll help kind of direct you.
Yeah.
No pun intended. On how the redirect should work. But let's pretend we're in a negotiation.
Okay.
Try to put yourself back in that first seller.
Okay.
And all of a sudden they start to take control and barraging you with questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So you be the seller.
Okay.
Right. And I'll be Cody,
Perfect.
the new investor. Right. And I'll show you first how people bomb it, and then I'm going to show you how to handle it the right way.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
So going into redirect. Okay. So tell me what it is that you're doing.
Oh, well, Cody, thank you for asking. Well, you know, I'm a real estate investor here in San Diego, and I'm a part of a group of investors who buy houses, 7 to 10 houses a month. And we buy houses fast, we close quickly, we close in the date of your choice, as is, no repairs, and you know, we close in the date of your choice.
So I've got quite a bit of postcards here, and so I'm just like, what is your price on this? Like, what are you gonna do for me?
Well,
what can you buy my home for?
Well, and again, we're gonna make it really easy. You know, so I mean, I could give you $150,000.
Yeah. So because I have like 10 postcards over here,
Yeah.
I'll probably that's awesome, 150, but I'll probably call some more people, just make sure that you know what they can do. 'Cause I'm looking really. I want to get out of it, but I also want the highest and best.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Well, here's my card.
Yep.
Okay, and call me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay. I'm off to my car. Right. Boom! I just got killed. Now,
By the way, this was
that was
spot
perfect.
on.
That
as
was
to
perfect.
Actually, what happens most times. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Here's my card.
And now you'll get someone like, oh, I got my first deal. I'm so close. Oh my gosh, yes, I met with the seller. He's motivated. He's got my card. And he said he's going to call me back. Right? Oh man, forget it. That guy's never calling you.
Never calling
It's
you back.
over. It's
It's
over.
done.
Hey,
It's done.
you know what? I'm actually happy because now I can enjoy my afternoon instead of worrying about the deal.
That's right. That's right. This is
Now,
right.
now, granted, here's the great thing about this. I don't know if we're going to do business or not.
Okay.
But what I love to do with the redirect is actually, you can find out who you're not going to do business with.
Okay.
Right. So you can move on quickly. So let me show you how I handle this differently, and it's going to speed up everything. It's going to accelerate. I'm going to gather more information and control the conversation. So ask me the same exact question. Now I'm going to redirect and control.
So tell me what it is you do.
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, you're here looking at my house. How is it that you're able to help me?
Well, you know, Cody, thank you for asking. I'm not really sure if I can help you yet. I need to ask you a few more questions to see if you're a fit. Can you tell me a little bit about maybe why you called that postcard I sent you in the mail?
Well, I got the postcard, and it just said you buy homes cash, and so I thought I'd give you a call because if it was the right number, right price, I'd probably sell.
Okay, tell me more about that right number, right price.
You know, I don't know. I mean, you're probably the expert here. Like, what could you give me for my home?
You know, not really sure yet. Can you just tell me a little bit more about why you're selling and what do I need to know?
So probably just downsizing. All the kids are gone out of the house now, so it's just me and my wife. So we're just looking at downsize and just move to another city.
Okay, and your timeline for that would be what?
You know, not real. I mean, there's not real any timeline. It could be tomorrow. It could be 6 months.
Okay, so it sounds like you're not really on a rush at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, if it was the right offer and the right setting and it worked out, yeah.
Okay. So tell me, who have you talked to about this already?
No one really, because I got your postcard, and I guess we weren't really thinking about selling until I saw that. And
Right.
it made me intrigued about like, okay, well, what could we sell it for?
Okay. And so let me ask you, have you thought about maybe just calling up a realtor and just listing with a realtor, or
I haven't yet, but yeah, I have a buddy that's a real estate agent.
okay, I'm gonna stop you. Okay, I'm gonna stop you.
Yep.
Right. Now, what was the difference in the first part and the second part?
My favorite of watching this is you always respond to my questions with a question.
Yes.
You're not being arrogant, but you're sitting there and you're actually you're like pulling away. You're more of like you're just kind of just asking more instead of just saying what you do and selling benefit.
Yeah.
You're actually letting them talk to share
Yep.
to see if you're actually even going to be a fit.
Yes. And I can come in and attack at that point.
Yeah.
Right, but the time is not yet.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to ask questions. I remember this great scene in Braveheart.
Yeah.
You know where the English are attacking the Scottish. Right?
Yep.
And he's like, hold. Do you remember that?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And they wait till literally the last second.
Right, in the last second. And so I can come in with those benefits and share those. So if you're wondering, well, how do they know what I do? Right? They don't need to know what we do yet because we haven't diagnosed
That's right.
the problem. And even
right.
though most of our solutions are similar, right? They have to feel like we're diagnosing their problem. And I threw in a few other techniques in there. It's a little bit of the stealth mismatch, which I'll talk about next.
Yeah.
Right? But at the very least, you've got to know whether you've got a phone, figure out if you've got a motivated seller.
That's
And
right.
So already, but by the time that I sit there and defend myself for 10 minutes in the first scenario, I'm getting the feeling right now that you're not that motivated.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So what I'm going to do at this point, because you're not giving me much.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking this
Kind
guy
of surface level, but I feel like almost the majority of my leads are very surface level.
Very,
They're not
very.
going to really tell you much.
Very.
They're just kind of staying the surface.
And so what you have to do, right, is use this redirect so
Yep.
you can first of all find out if you've got to get deeper.
Yep.
Because some people will tell you, and that's great, that 20% will be like the laydowns.
Yeah.
They'll come out like, oh, I need the money, I need a kidney, my son's living in the property rent free. That's all good.
Yeah.
Right? But the 80% live in the second part of this technique. Okay, that's the stealth mismatch.
Okay.
Right. So there are a ton of deals out there, a ton, where people don't sound motivated. So in this scenario, I loved our first role play because you didn't sound that motivated. You're holding your cards close to your chest,
Yeah.
which the majority of people do. So when you go to a car lot and a car salesperson comes up to you, right? What's the first thing you say?
I'm just looking.
You're just like, really? You go to car dealerships for fun on your weekend? Right? You're lying, right?
That's
You're
right.
there to buy a car.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
But Cody is everyone puts up the defense mechanism, so we have to remember that. So we're going to use a special technique, the stealth mismatch. Now, if you use the stealth mismatch, I guarantee you, right now you're probably missing 2 to 3 deals a month by not using this technique because you hang up on what you perceive to be a non-motivated seller.
That's the number one mistake I hear from majority
Yes.
of brand new wholesalers
Yes.
is getting off too early because they just don't sound motivated. But 80% of them don't sound
Right.
motivated.
So a couple stealth mismatches is actually you go the opposite of what you think the seller situation is or
Okay.
what they expect us to stay.
That's right.
Right? So if we go the opposite and it actually is not the case, they will come back and tell us. Right? So if I say, Cody, it sounds like you're really motivated. Right? It sounds like you want to sell fast. What are people? What are you going?
No, I'm not. No, I actually haven't enough time.
Right? Now you
They
can't
go
do
the
that,
opposite.
right? They're going to go the opposite.
That's right.
Right? Now, granted, if they don't, right, the stealth mismatch won't work. If they really don't have a timeline, it won't work, and that's good. That tells me.
Yeah.
Right? But I might say, hey, have you thought about just listing with a realtor? I mean, if you fix it up and put some money into it and list it, you probably get a few more bucks more than I can do.
Yeah.
Right? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like paying real estate fees. I don't like paying like the 6%. I don't know. Those are some of the things I look at as a concern.
Yeah. I mean, well, the good thing is, it sounds like, if you don't sell this property in the next year or 2 years, you're completely fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure it's the right deal.
Okay, so what do you mean? That's kind of so you hesitate there.
I mean, again, if everything is right, I mean, I'd like to move as soon as possible, really. I mean,
But it sounds like you want to wait at least a year.
no, not necessarily.
Tell me more about that.
So, I mean, now the kids are gone, we have this big house and it's 2 stories, and my wife I mean, really, she has bad knees. She hates walking the stairs.
Yeah.
And so it's just not, I mean, to just help my wife out,
Yeah.
I think I'd be willing to sell, you know?
Okay, I mean, and the reason why you don't want to list with a realtor is, I mean, is just commissions?
Yeah, I just feel like they make money that isn't necessarily their money,
Okay.
you know?
I mean, look, if you're just trying to save a few bucks on commissions, right, I'm probably not the guy. I mean, as an investor, I've got to be able to make a profit. You know, again, it might be better to list. I mean, you know, what value can I offer you, right, that a realtor's not?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I guess it's not really about just the commissions. I mean, maybe it's like time frame.
Okay, time frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I heard like here in San Diego, like homes sit on the market from like, I don't know, on average like 4 to 6 months before selling it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I don't
More
know.
like 4 to 6 hours, but yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, I don't know if I really want to sit here, and I don't know if I want to clean my house every time they do a showing, or, you know, just give
Okay.
someone my keys to my home.
But let's stop, right? So one of two things could have happened, right? So you could have given me something in that scenario, like, hey, you know what? I've got a job transfer that I was hiding, right?
Yeah.
Or my son is living in the basement and he's threatening to harm my wife.
Yeah.
Right? Or I've got a bill due.
Yeah.
But you see, by reversing, right? By using that stealth mismatch, I'm giving you every option to get out.
Yeah.
Right? And now you got to come back at me and convince me that I'm the guy.
Yeah.
You see the difference there? It's very, very, very powerful when you can go the opposite way of what the seller's expecting you to go.
Yeah.
And you don't do that unless, you don't get that information unless you go the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? If you say the answer you're looking for, you're going to go defense. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Next one, technique number 3. Okay, again, there's
But
5
before we
communication-
start this, just the thing to think about before you go into number 3, guys, if this is something that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm loving this, go over to closingsellers.com, because he has a whole training course and he's given a special deal for everyone in the tribe. So if that interests you, just click on that link and get over there.
Yeah,
Okay?
and by the way, if you're watching this, you must perfect your craft, right? If you are
Absolutely.
a wholesaler, if you're a real estate investor, if you want to make serious money, okay, you must become a master of your craft. And your master of your craft is listening to motivated sellers, right? Not talking to motivated sellers, listening to motivated sellers, and you use these using the techniques that I'm talking to you. Go to closingsellers.com. You got that special running through Saturday where you get your call critiques personally by me. Again, that's only through Saturday. I can't do any more than that.
Yep.
Okay, so send it to closingsellers.com. Okay, so the third technique is reluctance. Okay, now what happens is that a lot of new wholesalers, or really if you're hiring a team and you've got an acquisition specialist, you want to get out there and do a deal, and they're chasing the sellers.
Yeah.
And what happens, the sellers, as soon as you start chasing that seller, even if they were motivated before, then they are gonna like go from like a Mach 10 to woo,
Yeah.
and start withdrawing.
Yeah.
You know, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? They're gone, right? And so you know, if you see a lot of sellers ghosting on you, and you're
Yeah.
on the phone like, oh my gosh, I had somebody, and all of a sudden they run, right? And you saw that in the movie Tommy Boy. Remember
Yeah.
that movie Tommy
It's
Boy?
one
He
of my
gets out
favorite
in the
movies
road,
of all time.
and in the beginning, he's chasing sellers,
Yeah.
chasing sellers, and getting killed and losing sales. I mean, even his old customers
That's
are
right.
running from him.
That's right.
Right, and you notice a part in that movie where all of a sudden he just turns.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a point in the movie where he basically didn't want the deal.
Yeah.
Right, he almost gave up, and he's like, look, you know, I walk into a customer's office, and basically they don't want to do business. So I'm assuming that you don't, right? And I crash and burn every time. So see you later.
Yeah.
What do you know? He gets the sale.
He gets the
right?
chicken wings.
And so if you've seen that movie, depending on how old you are, this is where reluctance come in. And so there's a fine line with being reluctant, acting like you don't want the deal, right? Then actually being confident, because you must have confidence.
Yeah.
With a deal. A seller has to believe that you can get the deal done.
Yeah.
That you know that you're going to take this to closing and punch it through the finish line. What they need from you is certainty, right? Certainty that you can do the deal or that you can't do the deal.
But there's that fine line between this confidence and almost coming across needy, like we were talking about Tommy.
Yes, right? So if someone's like, hey, I would really like, one of the lines I hate is, hey, I'd really like to do business together, right? Oh my God. You might as well throw that, yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
The seller doesn't
I'm
care
with you.
whether you
I'm
like
with
to
you.
do business together. Great, I'd like to do business with every seller.
That's right.
Right, you're
That's
offering
right.
no value.
You're the only one I want to do business with right now.
Right, no. But you have to be in a spot,
Okay.
Where you could say, hey, you know what? I'd love to be able to do business with you,
Okay.
but it's got to be at the right price, right? I have to be able to make a profit, and so if I can't buy at a price that I can make a profit, right? I'm sorry, but we just can't do business.
That's right.
Right now, you see the power there, right? The power where I'm confident enough to say, hey, you know what? This is not a fit. That's okay.
During the role plays, you were really hitting that good, and like you said, like, oh, I'm hitting some of these things, but I'm gonna go into it. You were really good at like, okay, so you don't wanna sell real quickly. Okay, so it sounds like you're not that motivated, or it sounds like you have a year or some time before you do this. Is that
Right.
correct? I love those questions.
Right. So, in terms of that, it's really, 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 really important, okay, to be able to be at a spot, again, where you're showing that confidence that you can get the deal done. And if at any point you feel like the seller's resistant or backing away, okay, it's going to be really, really, really important then to go reluctant.
Yeah.
Right? So if I say, hey, listen, I want to let you know that it's okay to say no. Right? It's absolutely okay to say no if
Yeah.
we're not a fit.
Yeah.
Right? That's okay if you want to go in another direction. Just tell me so. Right? If you see the seller look at their watch, I remember this. I remember one time when I first got married, I was at one of those free timeshare presentations with my wife. Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to one of those?
No,
Right?
no, thank goodness. I told my wife I'll never do these. Actually, she made me commit to her that I'd never do it.
Yeah, right. When we first got married, right? It was funny. I went to one of those, wanted the free luau, right? I was in my young 20s, right?
Yeah.
And I remember this. The guy pulled a ninja move on me. I looked at my watch, and he goes, "Hey, if you got somewhere you want, you got to go, because you can go if you want." Right? And all of a sudden, I was like, "No, I'm good.
I'm actually fine.
Yeah, and I sat down, and the guy hooked me. He hooked me, right? And I sat in that chair, and I didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Right? And I was locked and loaded.
Yeah.
The rest of the conversation. And so it's really, really, really important to do that. One other way that we use the reluctance, right, is at the end when we're signing the agreement. Because this is where a lot of people mess up. They're like, "Oh, I got the contract. Oh," and they're just about to kill it, right? Is when the seller is about to sign, we use a technique and say, hey, I just want to make sure this is something that you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? If this is not a fit, you can throw this thing, rip it up right now and say no. Right? It's a great way to seal it and be reluctant.
These are tough questions. Like, these are tough scenarios, and in our mind we're thinking, why would I want to do this? Why would I want to offer the real estate agent? Why would I want to offer that I'm willing to rip up the contract? Why would I dare do that? Because what if they do take me up on this offer of getting a real estate agent or ripping up the contract?
Yes.
This is a natural fear that it's actually tough. In fact, you taught me this. It's actually having that courage and confidence of asking the tough questions
Right.
and putting out there the tough scenarios that actually lock them in deeper with you.
Yeah, much. Yes, very, 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 very important. Now let's go back to where a lot of people make mistakes, right? And this is where you can win.
Yeah.
And this is something that we call the verbal commitments, Cody. A lot of times people get on the phone with the seller, and for whatever reason, the seller is not ready to do business today. Now, we all love a good laydown.
Yep.
Right? Now, a laydown is where all of a sudden the phone rings, and someone says, I want to sell my house today, come on over.
And
sign
here's the
contract.
price, and it's already a
Here's the
deal.
price, and you're like, boom. Okay, let me tell you something. That is what we call fantasy land.
That's right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
it's like they're unicorns. I love them. I'm sure Cody loves
Absolutely.
them. Right? But
if I only lived by those, it would not work. I would not have a business, and it would be something I do deals very far and few in between.
right. And so something is very unique about wholesaling. And so you must master number 4 to really make money. The people who we do business with are natural procrastinators.
That's right.
Right? Think about it. If we are buying a house from a retired landlord, they're tired because they refuse to deal with their tenants. They refuse to deal with that problem. If someone's a job transfer, okay, they should have been thinking about this 6 months ago. If someone's in foreclosure, they should have handled this 6 months ago, not at the last minute. And so we're dealing with a subset of the population
That ultimately is slow. They procrastinate.
They love it, all right? And so what we need to do is we need to lead. We need to teach these people and drive this sale forward. But this is really going to help you because now you're going to start to shove your income closer and closer and closer until today. And the people who know how to do this are the ones who make have six-figure months after month after month after month. And so if you go online, you see people on Facebook
Posting their checks.
posting their checks a month, and you're like, how do they get this consistency? And what are they doing that I'm not? Okay, I guarantee you that they're either intentionally or non-intentionally using the verbal commitments.
Which is huge, Todd, because I sit there and think how many times I'm talking to individuals, and if this sounds like you, this is what I'm talking about, where we know we're doing the marketing. We're doing the exact same thing that John's doing or Sally's doing, and they're able to post that check that Todd just said. They're able to post the deal that they're doing. But you're like, man, what's the difference? I'm doing that. Maybe my area now makes you start to second guess if A, you should be a wholesaler, makes you second guess A, if or B, if your market is even working, and it starts to make you question. When you question, it gets you to fall back into what you were doing before and into that comfort zone. We need you uncomfortable. So this is good stuff. Keep going.
So the verbal commitment, okay, and again, this is all about compressing timelines.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that we need a seller to do is to define what their decision-making process is and what's the next step.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people are like, hey, compressing timeline is getting the seller to sign today. Okay. Well, that's great if you can get the contract today. But if it's not getting the contract signed today, it's having the seller define the very next step that needs to happen for them to be able to make the decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's assume for one moment that an old lady is living in a house, and her son she owns a house, and her son is living in her old rental property rent-free. Now, of
How
course,
many of you have heard this
yeah,
story?
I mean, you should start hitting the cash register.
Yeah.
The issue here, though, is that grandma or mom doesn't want to kick her son out. Right?
Yeah.
It's been going on for months.
I can't do this.
Right.
It's my son. I can't get him out of the house. I don't dare to.
Yes, and I can tell you that a symptom that you're doing this, if you keep calling the same seller month after month after month and nothing happens. You call that seller up and she says, hey, you know what? Yeah, just call me back in 6 months. I haven't made up my mind, and they haven't done anything. This is where you've got to use the verbal commitment. So let me show you. I'm going to take this and say, hey, Todd, I know last time we spoke, nothing's changed.
Okay.
Okay, because this is like everyone's kicking down the can down the road. If you've got a seller who's just kind of like nothing's happening, this is where you got to turn it on.
Yeah.
Okay, and drive it wedge forward. So
Yeah.
give me that, and I'll show you how to handle it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if there's been anything, Todd, really, since the last time we talked. I mean, it's still the same situation. My son is still living in the home. I don't know if I can really move it this time.
Okay. Well, great. Let me ask you something. What needs to happen? Okay, what is the very, very next step that you think that you need to take to be able to make a decision?
Well, I gotta just make sure that if this goes through, like, I still want to make sure my son's taken care of and that he's okay.
Okay. What would that look like?
I don't know, because that's the thing, Todd. That's what's hard. I don't want him to move in with me, and I don't know if he has any friends that he can move in with. So I guess that's where my whole problem is. I don't know where he's going to move.
Okay. Let me ask you, if we're in the same situation 2 years from now, right, what's the difference between 2 years and it is today?
Nothing other than it's going to be 2 more years of not receiving income on this property and could possibly lose it.
Okay. I mean, the good thing is, you're okay if he stays here another 5 years, right? Stealth mismatch, right? You weren't cooperating. I got to throw in a stealth mismatch. Yeah.
No, I'm not okay if he lives here 5 more years.
Okay. So what do you think he needs to do to go get his own place?
Man, just consistent income and ultimately me just cutting the ties that I'm not going to provide for him anymore. He's old enough, grown up, and he needs to provide for himself.
Okay, so what do you mean by consistent income?
So he just kind of works here and there when he does. It's not like he has a job that's
Okay.
consistent 40 hours a week, and that's really what he needs.
Yeah. So how long do you think he would need to go get a job and to get that consistent income?
I don't know. Probably it'd take at least a good solid 2 to 3 weeks to like just start interviewing and see what can happen.
Okay. Would it be fair? And again, no is okay, but would it be fair for you to give him a deadline to go get a job and to move out?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
What do you think that would be? What would be that deadline?
Probably 30 days.
Okay. So again, let me know if I'm overstepping my bounds, right? But would you want to give him a deadline in 30 days, and then in 30 days I'll call you back?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. I'm sorry. You sound like you were a little hesitant.
That'll be fine. I guess I just have to do it because it's not getting anywhere.
Okay. And what are you going to do? He sounds like he's probably going to get pretty angry and start throwing stuff and yelling and jumping up and down. Not going to want to move out. Maybe blame you.
Yeah.
How are you going to handle that?
Just hope for the best that doesn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when do you think you want to start having a conversation?
Well, I'll start talking to him this week. I'll start talking to him tomorrow.
Okay.
On start looking for that job.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to write down on my calendar that we're going to talk 30 days from now. Okay. That's going to be November 15th.
Okay.
Okay. I got an appointment for 10 o'clock for us to speak. Is that okay?
That'll be fine.
Okay, and then I also have a note here that you're committing to talk to your son on Tuesday about him moving out and getting a job.
That's right.
Okay, sound good?
That's right.
Okay. By the way, if you change your mind, okay, notice now I'm getting a little reluctant because I really did I pushed you a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, I got the commitments. Now I gotta back away a little bit, like the dog, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you change your mind and you don't want to sell and you want your son to live there, okay, for the next 5 years, just call me and tell me no.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, sounds good. Then I'll talk to you on November 15th, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom!
That's
Locked
awesome.
and loaded.
That's awesome. And it's not, I'm chasing them, I'm not needy. Again, guys, that confidence versus needy,
Yeah.
this is all tying together step by step, everything that he just did right
Yep.
there.
By the way, if you want to know this entire system, go to closingsellers.com. Obviously, I go over these 5 communication techniques. Okay, there's also a secret internal game that you need in your head. If you don't have the right mental game, all right, you're not going to do the big deal. You're not going to become a top flight wholesaler.
Yeah.
So you got to take off the brakes.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to get your head in the game, and that's all in the no limit selling system. If you go to closingsellers.com, okay, the system's there. And by the way, the price actually is ridiculously cheap. It is ridiculously cheap.
And gives you a special gift because you are part of the tribe. If you do this before Saturday, again, taking on one of your seller calls and just going through it and saying, here's where you can get better at, here's where you can improve, is worth the course by itself.
I personally would take a call again only through Saturday. Don't email Sunday and be like, oh, I want it. All right. Go from there. All right. Now, last one. Oh, this is what I love. This primes you, okay, for the home run.
The home run.
The home run. Now, you got to do the other 4 to get the 5th right. Okay, people always, they want to get the big hit. They want to make a 30, 40, 50, 100K deal. Okay, you got to get the communication techniques, and you must be able to really prime the seller to know when you can actually go for that big hit, the grand slam.
Yeah.
All right. So right now on conditioning, you've got to get the seller again to come down and soften them up to be able to accept your price.
Okay, so that's where I think is the biggest hurdle for most people. It's like, but are they really gonna buy? Are they really gonna let us buy this home at like 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar?
Right.
Like, do people really do this, Todd?
Well, the important thing is you got to ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're using the mismatch right and the redirect right, you're gonna know if you're competing with 10 other people.
Yeah.
Right? If you're competing with 10 other people, you're not gonna get a 100K deal.
Yeah.
It's not happening. Right.
Yeah.
You know, you get in there and you might squeak out a 10. Excuse me. But you got to be able to ask those questions. Now, if you're the only one dealing with the seller, right, and you are building the rapport and you're asking the right questions, you want to condition them to accept your price.
Yeah.
So one of the things immediately that I'll do is I'll say, look, I'll be glad to come look at the house and come speak to you, knowing that I'm an investor and I have to make a profit, right? Is it worth it for me coming out?
Yeah.
Right? I don't need to beat you down on price,
No.
right? But I lead it.
But it's a tough question.
It's a tough question, right?
I think right when I still remember this like it was yesterday. I was on the phone with you, right at my beginning stages. I said, Todd, like, what do we mean by hard questions? And I remember this because we still use this today. You said, now, I can't pay top dollar and I don't pay retail. Is that going to stop us from doing business today?
Yes.
And I still use that question. That question is a question that we always use. My team uses still today.
Right, and don't be scared of the answer.
That's right.
Right, because they might be like, well, no, I need top dollar, right? Well, now it might not be worth going out there.
But it's really good to those hard questions get you to know if you should move on to the next lead or you really have someone that's motivated.
Right, and conditioning is a multi-tiered approach. You can be doing it the entire time, right? You can build rapport, you can use stealth mismatch, right? But it's all intertwining. You're moving in and out. This is why this is techniques and this is not a script.
Yeah.
Right? This is not a script. You got to master the techniques so it happens.
Yeah.
You want to practice. You want to get the system that I'm talking about, right? Closingsellers.com. Get the system and have it become a part of you, right? So it just comes out.
Yeah.
Right. So another way to condition is when you go to the house, right? There's physical conditioning. So when you get in there, that you have the seller take your route if you're not doing deals over the phone, and you're looking at every single part of the house, right? And you see like a defect, maybe a crack in the floor, and you just touch it. Make a face. Don't say a word. Right? I don't want to get into an argument with you.
That's
I
right.
don't want to ask you for a lower price, but I'm getting them to accept it.
Yeah.
Right? I might take a look at like a little mold stain, and I'll go, oh. And all of a sudden, guess what the seller starts doing?
Oh no. Like, he saw it. Oh no.
And their blood pressure starts to go up.
Yeah.
Right? Very, very, very important. And then what might they start doing?
Well, they start telling you, start justifying it, right?
Start
they start
talking.
and start
Like,
saying,
oh,
well,
that's nothing.
and it's not that bad. That's been there for 10 years. The roof's actually fine.
Yeah, the roof's brand new. That wet stain's been there for 10 years.
That's right.
Like, even
This
the water
is right.
is dripping out as we speak. But right. But it's very, very important that you do that.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
that you go through, and again, you don't argue. And they might be talking about, hey, justifying. Don't argue. Don't be like, oh no, it is wet. Right. Just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Condition them.
That's right.
Right. Very, 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 very important. You might want to throw in, hey, listen, I might not be the best option, for you. Again, if you decide to list, that's okay, right? But I'll be upfront with you, right? And you
Common takeaway again.
Common takeaway. Go back and build some rapport, make a friend. Again, this is all part of the no limit selling system, which I go in deep. Okay, so by the way, make sure you go to closingsellers.com. Okay, to get this system. It's ridiculously low, right? By the time that you get to that last step, right, you're redirecting, mismatching, your reluctance, you've got the verbal commitment, and you've conditioned them, right? And you're dealing with the right seller, right? They should be ready to sign the contract and a monster deal. Now, the best part about this is that if you've done this right, you have disqualified a ton of sellers.
That's right.
Right? So one of the parts about the no limit selling system is actually removing the people that you should not be doing business with. Because often wholesalers, they spend way too much time with people who they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And not enough time with the people that they should be.
So the big thing that I think the takeaway from this, guys, is there's 3 buckets, right? Maybe you're the beginner and you haven't closed your first deal. This is going to be huge. This is going to be step-by-step training on how you can close more deals right out of the gates. The second bucket is the ones that are doing maybe 1 or 2 deals, but really they want to get to 5 or 6 deals a month. This is going to be the training to help you step up your negotiation, your sales game. And then the third bucket is just the ones that are now bringing a team on. They're trying to scale that team. Why not have a guy that just crushes negotiation, crushes sales, lead and guide and be the training for your team? Because ultimately, when you're all in sync,
Right.
this is how you close.
Well, you
more
can
deals.
actually give this. So we have a lot of the top flight wholesalers here actually give this to their team.
That's right.
Right, and they watch it. They watch it daily. I know Cody from TTP. His team watches it every single day.
Brent.
We single-handedly took his deal size from $13,000 to $29,000 using this very system. I remember Tom when he first got started. He was doing these little rinky-dink wholesale deals, and man,
I got $7,000,
I almost got a heart attack. Right, and again, we've got Dan on the system, right? And now their assignment fee is double that, right?
That's right.
And so it's really, really important to be able to do this. Now, the one thing that I want to reiterate here is that if you're like, hey, Todd, I'm not a naturally born salesperson, and I wasn't born with sales, let me tell you a story. My first acquisition specialist when I hired him, right, his name was Brian. The guy couldn't get 2 words out of his mouth. Okay,
Couldn't close a door.
Could not speak. Had no sales experience, right? But he wanted to succeed.
Yeah.
Right. And so he's working with me the first 5 or 6 weeks, and we were going nowhere. I mean, I was like, go out there, call sellers. I didn't give him any training, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So finally, I had this consultant. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. Am I going to fire him? And I loved him. I wanted this to work because this guy he wanted to succeed.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need you to write down all your sales system and put it on a sheet of paper. And that's
Yeah.
what I want you to do, right? And I want you to get it so you can teach it him. You can get what's out of your head and into Brian's hands.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm not sure if this guy has it. He's like, give him a chance. I wrote the system down.
Yeah.
Okay, and that actually was the basis for the no limit
That's the
selling
beginning
system
of no
today.
limits.
Let me tell you what happened. Over the next 4.5 years, Brian single-handedly, the guy who could not speak, who was scared to talk to sellers, literally shaking in front of sellers, right, wasting time, just did not have a chance, made me millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars he made me, and
From a guy that naturally was not a salesperson at all.
No. So, and using this system. So you may be the person who is scared to talk to sellers.
Yeah.
You don't know who you should be spending time with or who you shouldn't. You don't know how to handle objections. You don't know what to do, how you should spend your time. You're scared to go for the big deals. You feel like you're wasting your time on deals with competition. You need the system. Okay. Again, you can take a lot from this. Watch these videos again. I guarantee you're going to start making money right away. Take the free stuff. But if you want to dig deep, you want to refine your craft, you want to be the best of the best, and you want to take that business to 7 figures or high 6 figures, right? Go to closingsellers.com. Through Saturday, I will analyze one of your calls and get it back to you on video. And really want to see you up your game.
Stud. Guys, this is something we can all take advantage of, but also because you are part of the tribe, he's going to give you something that is going to surprise you when you see the price. But then if you do it and act upon before, like you said, Saturday, that by itself is worth everything. Todd, it's been absolutely amazing having you. I love San Diego. I might just move here and give him a little more competition.
Yes.
But I love it, man.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, as long as you promise not to use the system. But by the way, leave a comment below if you're watching on YouTube. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments and questions, where you're at in your journey, and really look forward to interacting. I might answer some questions on the video below.
Okay. So, take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Act it.
Talk to you soon.